Welcome to WEWIN New. From the explosion at Smitty's Supply in Roseland to the fire at the amusement park in Gothenburg, can you believe what you're about to see? Dive into the most incredible moments that challenge everything you thought was possible. Let's get started.
Ja, det är dramatiskt.
A huge explosion rocked a gas station in Dagestan, Russia. A large fire broke out at the scene. A train carrying nitric acid reacted with another substance, causing a strong exothermic reaction and red cellar fumes in Ukraine. Be aware of the dangers associated with the transport of dangerous goods. A pickup truck lost control of its speed when it went over a speed bump, causing it to fly into the air and crash into other cars parked on the side of the road. A small truck suddenly crashed into a parked car because it was not paying attention to what was ahead. It is very important to be careful and focused when driving. The Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore collapsed. It was struck by a large ship. The church ceiling suddenly collapsed due to the earthquake, causing smoke and dust to fill the air. The cracking of car windows shows how powerful the shockwave of an explosion is. Earthquake in Turkey caused many buildings to collapse, leaving scenes of panic with smoke, dust, and snow. A massive lightning strikes St. Ars Church in Canada. Pressure cooker explosion incident in the kitchen. Need to be careful when using household appliances that can easily lead to fire and explosion. Cranes collapsed in the Turkish port of Kocaeli after being struck by a container ship. The car collided with a pickup truck, and then the front of the car caught fire. A warehouse in the Vettel district of Hamburg caught fire after several gas cylinders, believed to contain nitrous oxide, exploded in the warehouse. Debris was scattered across the road. The fire department later arrived at the scene with the assistance of the airport fire brigade. A large building suddenly collapsed while still under construction. The cause is believed to be in the design. The car lost control and suddenly spun on the road and collided with a car with a camera. The broken glass flew and the car crashed into the grass field next to it. The collapse of the giant Arecibo telescope. Rock falls suddenly on I-35. Dust billows across the road. The electric car suddenly started smoking and then caught fire. Barge collapses during loading on Danube near Smederevo, Serbia. The car stuck on the edge of the ditch was pulled up by a truck but then lost control and plunged into the ditch ahead.
Стой, стой, стой! Блять! Ебать!
An explosion occurred at a smart automatic petrol station in the city of Iskitim. The car lost control and crashed into a power pole, flipped over and broke the pole in half. The red car lost control and crashed into the barrier between two lanes, then hit a car going in the opposite direction. The parked truck was suddenly hit by a white truck coming from the opposite direction, causing the driver to panic. Unexpected collisions can happen at any time. The car was turning left when it suddenly collided with a car going straight. The car suddenly collided with the car with the camera, then was thrown to the side of the road and flipped over. The truck carrying glass collided with a car, pieces of glass flew everywhere, and the truck spun around. Unexpected collision between a deer running across the road and a car. Pickup truck lost control and crashed into trees on Beachboro Street. The truck lost control and collided with a passenger bus going in the same direction. The truck flipped over and collided with a car with a camera. The red pickup truck in the outer lane tried to move to the inner lane and collided with another blue car. The strong collision caused the blue car to lose control, flip over in the middle of the road, and slide a long distance, causing a chain reaction accident with 3 other cars. The red car collided with the car with the camera.
Emergency video.
Don't turn left from the right lane. A major fire broke out in the downtown area. All residents and businesses in the area are advised to evacuate immediately for their safety. New York City fast food restaurant exploded due to suspected Molotov cocktail.
"17 minutes later, a second plane, United Flight 175, sliced through the South Tower between the 77th and 85th floors. Chaos gripped the streets below. For the first time in modern American history, a nation watched its own vulnerability. Calm skies turned to chaos as the plane veered dramatically off course, heading straight for the heart of New York City. The explosion tore through the upper floors, igniting a fireball that darkened the morning sky. The explosion shattered the silence, sending debris raining down on the city streets below. Smoke poured out in black plumes. People watched in horror from the streets and on television screens across the world as they tried to comprehend what they were seeing. The North Tower, once a symbol of American might and architectural brilliance, stood tall for 102 minutes before succumbing to the inferno. The South Tower collapsed 56 minutes after impact. The North Tower, once a symbol of American might and architectural brilliance, stood tall for 102 minutes before succumbing to the inferno. Its structure was innovative. A tube frame design with strong outer steel columns and a reinforced inner core allowed for wide open floor plans and unparalleled height. Designed to withstand high winds and even a small plane crash, the tower was a symbol of American ambition and ingenuity. But it wasn't built for the kind of catastrophe that unfolded that day.
What's this other jet doing? What's this other jet doing?
Oh my God!
The intense heat from the burning jet fuel weakened the steel beams until the upper floors gave way, collapsing the tower that blanketed the city.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh
On the clear, crisp morning of September 11, 2001, the world changed in a moment of unimaginable horror. American Airlines Flight 11, a routine transcontinental flight from Boston to Los Angeles, just minutes after takeoff, 5 hijackers seized control of the aircraft. Passengers with plans, families and dreams, and a crew dedicated to their safety. Within minutes of takeoff, everything changed. As New Yorkers rushed to work, drank coffee and greeted the day, Flight 11 tore through the sky and crashed into the North Tower of the World Trade Center, striking between the 93rd and 99th floors.
Officers, FBI agents, and you can see the 2 towers. A huge explosion now, raining debris on all of us. We better get out of the way. Oh my God, there it goes!
You guys got any mask?
The disaster spiraled into a Level 7 nuclear event on the International Nuclear Event Scale. Over 160,000 people were evacuated from surrounding areas, many of whom would never return to their homes. Farmers abandoned their land. Children were kept indoors for fear of radiation. Entire towns became ghost cities overnight. What unfolded at Fukushima was not merely a technological failure, it was a moment that exposed the vulnerabilities of even the most advanced societies. The cleanup at Fukushima has stretched into a multi-decade effort. Fukushima is a name now etched into the world's memory. On the afternoon of August 4, 2020, in the heart of Beirut, Lebanon, life carried on amid an already difficult year. The country was in the grips of a devastating economic crisis, worsened by political instability and the COVID-19 pandemic, but nothing could prepare the people of Beirut for the catastrophe that was about to unfold.
What? Bro!
A massive explosion rocked the city. In an instant, entire neighborhoods were destroyed. The ground shook with the force of an earthquake, glass shattered across miles, buildings crumbled, and a giant mushroom cloud rose over the port. The cause? A massive stockpile of ammonium nitrate, 2,750 tons of it, had been sitting in a warehouse in the port of Beirut for more than 6 years, unsafely stored and neglected by successive governments.
Whoa!
The explosive chemical had been confiscated from a ship in 2013, and despite repeated warnings from customs officials and port authorities, no action had been taken to properly dispose of it. Etched into history with devastating force, March 11, 2011, stands as a day the world will never forget. A colossal 9-magnitude earthquake off the northeastern coast of Honshu, Japan. Marking the most powerful seismic event the nation had ever experienced. The ground shook violently, toppling buildings and sending shockwaves across the Pacific Ocean. But the real horror came not from the quake itself, but from what followed, an unstoppable wall of water. Roughly 40 minutes later, a towering tsunami, some waves reaching up to 50 feet, crashed onto Japan's coast. Entire towns were engulfed. Among the coastal facilities affected was the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant. The nuclear plant was designed to withstand earthquakes and tsunamis, but not a disaster of this magnitude. The quake knocked out the plant's connection to the electrical grid, which was crucial for cooling the nuclear reactors. Emergency diesel generators kicked in as planned, but when the tsunami struck, it flooded the site and disabled those generators, plunging the plant into a full power blackout. Without electricity, the cooling systems failed. In the intense heat, chemical reactions produced hydrogen gas, which built up and eventually caused a series of massive explosions over the following days. Plumes of radioactive material escaped into the air. Radioactive water leaked into the Pacific Ocean. Destruction stretched across the whole city, roads were damaged, phone lines disrupted, and there was no electricity. Myanmar's junta chief has made a rare appeal for global assistance. Myanmar was wholly unable to deal with the shock and its aftermath due to the breakdown in civil society. International aid poured in, but political paralysis hampered recovery. Many survivors still wait for justice. No one has been held fully accountable. A powerful quake rocks Myanmar on March 28, 2025. Myanmar, one of Asia's poorest nations, is reeling from a civil war sparked by a 2021 military coup. Weak infrastructure makes it ill-equipped to deal with major natural disasters. Many buildings, temples, and roads were destroyed. The Chinese rescue team was the first international rescue team to arrive in Myanmar on the morning of March 29, 2025. Myanmar quake shakes Bangkok from more than 1,000 kilometers away. Here is the situation on top of the tallest building near the swimming pool during the earthquake in Myanmar and Thailand. There was no earthquake like this in Bangkok. Pool water was seen cascading off buildings and onto the streets below in Thailand. The sound was heard over 150 miles away, and the shockwave was one of the largest non-nuclear explosions ever recorded. The city looked like a war zone within seconds.
البور ماشي عبارة عن كسر حديد البور ماشي.
But perhaps more painful than the physical destruction was the anger and betrayal felt by the Lebanese people. This wasn't just a tragedy caused by fate, it was a disaster born of neglect, corruption, and state failure. For years, officials had known about the danger lurking in the port and had done nothing. The explosion left a crater over 140 meters wide in the heart of the city's port. Iconic streets in downtown Beirut were reduced to rubble. Schools, homes, hospitals, and historical buildings were destroyed. A man had an incredibly close call when he narrowly escaped being almost crushed by an out-of-control concrete truck that tipped dangerously while turning, missing him by just inches. On April 4, 2025, a devastating explosion took place in Dagestan, Russia, following a severe traffic accident involving a Lada Granta and a Gazelle van, both of which were engulfed in flames and ultimately destroyed in the blast. The rider, without regard for the chaos and damage left behind, fled the scene immediately afterward, while truck driver, who had risked his own safety to preserve hers, was left to deal with the aftermath and assist in managing the situation she had triggered. When the mower settles, it looks like the gas tank is intact. The blast was powerful enough to throw the mower 8 feet high. No fireball means the gas didn't ignite. So what is the cause? In 2016, a furnace explosion occurred at the copper plant in Norilsk, Russia, during the loading of a wet charge due to violations of safety regulations. This event adds to a growing list of safety concerns and incidents at Norilsk Nickel's facilities, including a collapse at the Norilsk concentrator and a previous explosion at the Zapolyarny mine, where methane buildup due to ventilation and safety violations was cited as the cause. Meet the luckiest cashier on the planet, who narrowly escaped a dangerous situation in a way so incredible when a car crashed into a store. A drunk driver in Russia lost control of their vehicle and crashed into a stationary police car. Choose a designated driver, use a taxi or rideshare, or stay where you are if you've been drinking. Don't drink and drive. A truck's brake suddenly failed, sending it out of control, but the driver, reacting with split-second instinct, managed to leap out of the vehicle just in time. A dramatic incident occurred on October 14, 2024 at Keelung Port's Pier 20 in Taiwan when a barge delivering a newly purchased container gantry crane collided with an existing onshore crane, leading to a sudden and total collapse of the latter. Replacing a gantry crane of this scale is estimated to cost around $9.3 million. The incident occurred during a sudden and intense thunderstorm in Arkansas, leaving both man and woman in shock. Just as they close the doors, a powerful bolt of lightning strikes the ground mere feet away. Sometimes all it takes is one fast reaction to stop a problem before it even starts. On August 9, 2016, a car parked in a parking lot in the city of Novi Urengoy, Russia, suddenly exploded, startling nearby residents and raising concerns about public safety as emergency services rushed to the scene to contain the situation and investigate the cause of the blast.
Ничего не осталось.
A car was launched into the air in an incident that could have ended in tragedy. Miraculously, no one was involved in the chaos, and the driver emerged completely unharmed.
Oh my God.
Wish I could send this video to every shoulder driver out there. July 15, 2022, CSX train dragged a large tree along the tracks as it passed through Harrington Park, New Jersey, coming dangerously close to a group of rail fans and creating a tense and alarming situation.
Look at them coming in. Cars coming in. Boom, whoa.
On December 30, 2017, a multi-vehicle crash closed US 31 southbound at Michigan 120 in Muskegon County. There was one citation issued for driving too fast for conditions from the Michigan State Police that day. Motorists have to remember to slow down or get off the road completely when visibility is bad and roads are slick.
Oh man, smack, smack, smack. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Okay.
somebody's gonna get. Oh my God!
Okay, thank you.
They gotta shut this highway down. Oh, here it comes! Whoa! Whoa! Into that truck! Oh my God!
You're going down on a big truck.
Oh Christ!
Cyclists should exercise extra caution when riding near trucks. Avoid riding too closely alongside them, especially during turns, and always assume the driver may not see you. crash occurred on June 13, 2025, as a semi-truck was attempting to clear the tracks at Lagrange Road, a busy crossing with 3 parallel tracks in Illinois. The train hit the trailer of the truck, blocking all 3 main rail lines. The impact pushed the trailer into a tree and a column of the passenger shelter before coming to a stop. No one was utilizing the passenger shelter at the time of the crash. The semi-truck driver walked away unharmed. Slow down well in advance, look both ways even if signals aren't active, never attempt to beat a train, and ensure there's enough room to fully clear the tracks before crossing, especially when hauling long or heavy loads. Luckily, there were no injuries. Footage filmed in Guangxi, China shows mud and trees suddenly collapsing down a mountainside and nearby tourists running for their lives. A building collapsed near Kapali Theatre in Karnataka, India, after heavy rain. The building was empty and no one was inside. A mischievous fish stole a tourist's phone while they were taking pictures. A runaway tire came hurtling out of nowhere and crashed through the front of a store, startling everyone inside, but fortunately, none of the customers or staff were injured. The crude concrete truck nearly flipped over on the uneven road, and the man was incredibly lucky to maintain his balance and not fall off the vehicle. On July 10, 2023, in Bangkok's Lat Krabang district, an elevated road under construction collapsed. The incident was caused by a crane that was lifting a concrete segment. A crane unstable and overturned, leading to the collapse of the elevated section. This collapse resulted in vehicles being crushed, damage to nearby buildings, and the toppling of power poles. In São Paulo, Brazil, a gas cylinder leaked and flew through a scrapyard. The security camera footage shows the cylinder flying across the yard, looking like a missile. On June 7, 2025, following a derailment, a boxcar veered off the tracks and ripped apart a shed in Mississippi. Indonesia frequently experiences deadly mudslides, especially during heavy monsoon rains. A catastrophic cold lava mudslide from Mount Merapi, a volcanic mudflow, or Lahar's devastated villages. A crash happened during a snowstorm on Interstate 15 in Salt Lake City, Utah, on March 26, 2023. The poor lady on the right was hit by a thoughtless driver who was going too fast and following too close in the snow.
That guy, though. See? Like you said, going way too fast, huh?
If traveling during hurricane season, June to November, in Tequila, Mexico, keep an eye on coastal warnings.
Everybody get down! Give me all your money! It's got the boxes! Give me all your money! Get down! Where's the money?
A man wearing a blue hat, sunglasses and blue jeans barged into Nail First Salon on Piedmont Road in Atlanta on July 3, 2023. He only walked out empty-handed after being largely ignored by the would-be victims. In Baton Rouge, Louisiana, a train collided with a car at a railroad crossing. Before the train arrived, the passengers of the car were able to exit the vehicle. Despite being a cat, this particular feline is so afraid of mice that it refuses to go near them and instead relies entirely on its owner.
The finish line is here. Don't forget to give us a like button and share your road encounters in the comments. And don't miss the video on the right side of the screen. See you soon.